I'm Alaska Latina, and of course, I'm doing a voiceover because husband is playing a video game. So, yeah, it is what it is. Love him though. So, I'm doing some pasta. So, first, we're going to do some flour. We're going to do 3 cups of flour. And before anybody says, yes, I know that the flour on the jar is not the same flour as it should be, but that's the way I spelled it. And yes, I spelled it like that on purpose. And okay, so it's real easy. You're just going to do, for every 1 cup of flour, you're going to do 2 eggs, room temperature, a pinch of salt. I really didn't measure the salt, but about a pinch for each cup of flour to every 2 eggs, if that makes sense. So as you can see, you can do a little flour hill, but I don't know if you, oh man, yeah, you guys just can watch. So it should be, you can put the eggs in the middle. You're supposed to do a hole, and I don't think I did the hole deep enough. Yeah, just give it a minute. Just give it a minute. I don't know how the people just make it look so easy. And for everybody that's wondering, oh, don't worry, it's your first time making it. Actually, it's not. It's probably the first time I've made it in like 8 or 9 years. But I've also only made homemade pasta about a handful of times. And even the first time, it turned out great. Do you see? Oh. Yeah, do you see? Okay, this was also on Sunday. I know this is Monday. I'm doing the recording. I had a horrible day yesterday. I couldn't sleep the last couple nights. It was bad. And at this point, I was like, you know what? It is what it is. My husband, I know you guys can't hear him, but he was saying, don't worry about it. Just throw it away and do it over. And no, I was in the mood. I wasn't in the mood. I was just, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get through it. Again, I know I look like I probably don't look super mad, but I was really frustrated at this point. I always try to make things lighter, trying to be like, nope, it doesn't bother me. We're good. Keep on pushing through, stuff like that. But I don't know. I wasn't really having it yesterday. It was hard, and I'm not going to lie. I was extremely frustrated, and I felt so defeated the entire day yesterday. But I still did what I had to do, and I do enjoy doing these videos, so I hope you guys enjoy them. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I ended up, to try to make me like zone out, I ended up playing Judge Judy on my laptop. I don't know if you guys can see it over there in the corner on the left, but yeah, I don't know if you guys can tell my face. I was just really, really beyond over it at this point. I was so frustrated. Yeah, wasn't super happy. So I tried to be like, let me just go ahead and try to add some more flour. I think that was my biggest problem, is the lack of flour, unfortunately. Okay, well, let's just be realistic. Maybe it's just the lack of knowledge. I see people do it, and I've done this before. Like I said, I've done this before. Not like a whole lot of times, but a few times. And I just never had this problem. I don't know if you guys can tell. Yeah, my face was just like, I am so over this. And my husband, he sharpened our knives, and some of the red paint came off. Yeah, I need to be careful. I need to get, what's that called? I don't know what it's called, but those little thingies and stuff. Yeah. Okay, so I tried putting flour. Yeah, I think if I would have put in a lot more flour on the bottom and on the top, it wouldn't have did what it did. I had a lot of problems. Gosh. Yeah, I haven't, when I did this Sunday, yesterday, oh my gosh. You guys, I had a very, very hard time. Today wasn't as bad, even though I still struggled getting through. It does not compare to what I did yesterday. It was just, yeah. I was just like, damn, I just don't want to do this anymore. I really didn't. Oh my gosh, you guys, yeah. And my boys are so sweet, though. They're like, it's okay. You can do it next time. You can do it later. You always cook other things so good and all this stuff. I didn't realize that when my son ended up coming home from leave when he was in the military a couple years ago, he came home And then he came home, like he went out, hung out after a couple of days. He came home with like two of his friends, and they're like, "Oh yeah, so and so and so and so. I told them that you were making this. I forgot what it was, but he's like, oh yeah." And they said that they needed to come over, and they just came over for food. I was like, "Oh, okay, that's cool, that's sweet." And then the two other boys are like, "Yeah, we boast about your food all the time." I guess boasting means that they've been bragging about my food. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't mean what I think it is. But yeah, they were like, "Yeah, we've been boasting about your food. It's awesome. It's this and that. We love it when Will comes back from leave. We always loved coming over to your house." And that's when I ended up learning that they loved coming over, obviously, because they just hang out here and stuff, whatever, friends, all that stuff. But it was also for the food. I was just so happy to find that out. I don't know. I was like, "Really?" And both the other boys, like my son, yeah. But the other boys were like, "Yeah, that's why we came over. We specifically come over sometimes just for the food. We will ask him what he's eating, what you're making." And I just thought that was awesome. Yeah, I don't know why, but food has always been a big deal to me. So when I was growing up, my mom, if you haven't heard or if you knew here, my mom was very abusive in different ways, verbally, physically, mentally, all that. And food was one of those things. As a child, I have many pictures. I look like a normal, healthy child. I look like a thinner child, not like thicker, and nothing like that. I was a thin, healthy child. But I remember my mom always trying to pinch my sides or different parts of my body and tell me that I was fat. That's a gorda. So there were times where like I would be hungry and I wasn't allowed to eat. So when I moved with my dad, it was the opposite. It was like, "No, you need to eat. No, here, you need to eat. You need to sit down and enjoy your food." A meal is something that should be enjoyed. And he always taught me that even if it's your worst enemy and you only have one loaf of bread or one slice of bread, excuse me, and both of you are starving, split that in half. You guys are both be hungry at the end probably, but at least you guys will both be sharing the same slice of bread and you guys will be at least that much less hungry. My dad was born in 1930 during the Depression. So during that time, it was difficult. He also didn't have a mom, didn't have a dad. He lived with his grandfather, but he was a lot older and it was hard for him just to get by. Again, this was during the Depression. My dad, when he was 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 years old, he was literally going into dumpsters or trash cans because it didn't really have dumpsters back then, trash cans, or steal just to have some food. Not to have all extras and stuff, not to have, the fanciest pairs of shoes and latest clothes, the boombox or whatever they had back then. It was just to literally stay alive. Before my grandmother passed away, my dad would tell me that all the kids would cry because she was a single mom. I forgot what she had, but she ended up unfortunately dying very, very young. When I think the oldest was like 9 years old and she had like 6 kids, I believe then. A couple passed away, unfortunately. But my dad would tell me like we were hungry as a kid. We would cry. We would tell our mom, "Mama, I'm hungry. I'm hungry." She would tell them, "Drink some water and go to sleep. Don't worry. Tomorrow we'll find some food." And my dad would tell me he would go hungry very, very often. And he would always tell me, "Sit down, enjoy your food because you never know when the next meal is going to come from." And it's funny because he never knew really how to cook. He only cooked like 5 different meals. I should probably do a series. Actually, my dad's birthday is coming up. I should probably do that. Make a series of all his favorite foods, or all the foods that he could eat, I should say, or knew how to make, kind of, sort of, or microwave or oven. I think I want to do that. But anyways, and after living with my dad, food went from a negative thing to a very, very, very positive thing. It was negative when I lived with my mom, but as soon as I came with my dad, it started changing me. And I think that's probably why I'm a little gordita now, okay? Back then I wasn't. She shouldn't have said shit. But now, like, if she said, I'd be like, okay, yeah, I agree with you. I know I got lonjas. I got a lot of them. I got like 8, 9, 10, 20, 50. I don't know. I'm just a big old lonja myself. If you don't know what a lonja is, it's kind of like a roll. It's a roll, right? It's a roll. It's just like a fat roll on a chick, I guess, or a guy. So I guess it don't matter. But yeah, that's what that is. And it's funny because now I say cooking is my therapy. I just zone out. So when something doesn't go my way, and my husband, he is always there to help me. This man has changed. This is not the man I married. It isn't. This man has gotten so, I mean, yeah, different story. Incredible. Yeah, because we almost divorced. It was bad. It was really bad for a little bit. But anyways, yeah, like I said, he's always right there for me. So it's my therapy. So when something doesn't go my way when it comes to cooking or baking, especially when I am not feeling well, yeah. So this was kind of sticking, and you can see I'm like done. I'm done. I am so done. I needed to put more sand, or not sand. I should have put more sand. It might have made it better. I just needed to add more flour. This was a huge failure. This was a disappointment, but you know what? I learned I need a lot more flour. I will try this again next weekend. It's so easy, and I've done it before. I was so frustrated.